human being. And that's what those people experienced, you see. So
wow.
when you hear about, the love from Venus, I have to laugh to myself because I think that they love to eat humans.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. It always reminds me of that Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man, and it turned out to be a cookbook.
Now, these are the particular beings that the Illuminati are currently working with at this time.
Well,
or are they working with? I was going to say. Now, I've heard of the Zetas, and I've heard, which I heard were kind of like minions compared to the reptilians, so to speak, or they're like worker bees, or maybe a step under them, or something like that.
Well, the so-called little grays that have become so popular in UFO lore, they're not a real race. They're an artificial construction. If you take a picture of a little gray and put it right next to the picture of a human fetus, you could not tell the difference. And that's because these so-called grays are nothing more than human fetuses grown to larger proportion and then mind-controlled. And that's why they have hormone deficiencies and digestive deficiencies, and they have these big black buggy eyes, and that's because they're fetus eyes. And that's why their head is bigger than their body. Did you ever look at a human fetus in utero? It's a little gray. That's what it is, and it's an artificial race, you see, a slave race that's been created out of humanity to work for the reptilians. Now, the reptilians, when we say that word, it encompasses many different civilizations. Just like when you say you want to talk about a European, well, are you talking about a Norwegian or a Greek or a Portuguese or an Austrian? Which one? They all speak different languages, they all look a little different, and they all have different cultures. Well, same thing with the reptilians. There's many, many, many different kind of reptilians out there from a few different locations. And so I will tell you that the original Draco reptilians from the Draco star system, they are not happy with what the Illuminati are doing here on the Earth, because the Illuminati really have intended to create their own empire based on the Earth to bypass or usurp the power of the Draco Empire. So the reptilians are not happy with the Illuminati at all. Now, if you know about history, and you know that Lemuria, that was in the Pacific Ocean, was a reptilian, androgynous reptilian, and when and when it was destroyed and sank beneath the Pacific, many of the survivors went into the inner Earth and hollow Earth, and that is where many of the battles now are occurring between the Illuminati and the purebred reptilians, both in the Earth and under the Earth. So that's why we're seeing a lot of mine disasters in various places on the Earth. We're seeing a lot of earthquakes occurring as battles occur. It's quite an intricate situation that can't be classified with a lump statement. It really depends on each situation.
Now, this is the information that you have learned whenever you was in the Montauk experiment. Like these cats actually told you, basically the beginnings of humanity and so forth and so on. Correct?
Yes, and the reason they did was because it was an enhancement or an enforcement to make us do what they wanted. We were told that humanity in general was too stupid to control itself, so that we were providing a great service to humanity by doing these experiments in mind control that would ultimately save the human race from destroying itself. That's basically what we were indoctrinated with.
Wow. Now, I don't know how much you listen to music, but one of the things I've noticed is the archetypes that they're creating in music that you can see now in the industry, where they're using like the Lady Gaga's, and she's literally doing rituals on MTV Music Awards, and then she just did some stuff with the Grammys, and then Beyonce now is coming out on stage with a cat full of military soldiers, but yet singing a song called "If I Were a Boy," and I'm laughing because I'm like, what is military soldiers all the countries in the world turning red and all this other stuff got to do with what you're singing. You know, it's just the critical thinking is on point. And I just, what's going on with these archetypes that they're creating? Like, they're creating these archetypes, like these Rihanna archetypes, these Beyonce archetypes. Jay-Z is now a big archetype in the hip-hop community where something's going on with him. You can see him transitioning out. Lady Gaga, she don't even hide her stuff anymore. Madonna's been doing it. I just realized that when I started going back through the music and I really started paying attention. A lot of the music artists have been doing this type of stuff and using symbolism. Michael Jackson was a part of it, the whole nine. So I was wondering if you could also touch on that, because someone had a question about that, about what you thought about that.
Yes, I had a whole thing on my website just the other day about that, and I think I called it Gaga Me with a Spoon, because, you know, the whole thing about these entertainer icons, what I call programming icons, like you mentioned, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Madonna, Michael Jackson, all these globally famous entertainers, and it does